Hello and welcome to another video episode of my podcast. My name is Cheryl and this is Cappuccino Crafts, where I talk about crafting or creative projects, which I don't have any going right now. That is still, it has not bounced back. Reading has been going, and I just have some things I want to chat about. And sometimes I talk about movies and TV or other life and chatty things. And this is going to be a little more of a chatty episode and a little bit of a show and tell. I rarely do like a haul video. In the last couple months, um, I have uh, gotten some things and I just felt like I wanted to chat and show them to you. So that's what it's going to be today. Um, and I hope you're up for that. Um, Thank you for choosing to watch this video and spend a little bit of your time with me. And I hope that you enjoy it. Please settle in, get yourself a delicious beverage, and let's enjoy a lovely visit together. Um, this last weekend was Mother's Day weekend in the US. Sunday, the second Sunday in May in the US, is when we celebrate Mother's Day. And yeah, so that happened. I did give my mom a card and a summery top for her Mother's Day, and that was really nice. And I also, on Saturday, the day before Mother's Day, took myself to the bookshop that I like to go to, my closest local independent, and then next door. And they kind of have a door, an adjoining door, so that you can go back and forth between them. A comic book next door, a comic book shop next door. So I've been crossing over and nosing around the comic book store side too, and I will show you a little bit of that in the last like 2.5 months. Some things that I've gotten. My reading this week, I am still working on finishing Assassin's Quest. And I'm so excited. A viewer is also reading Assassin's Quest Blue Black. Yay! I'm so glad that you are picking it back up. And I can't wait to chat about Assassin's Quest in the comments with you. I am enjoying it. Not surprised, because I really, really, really loved the first two books, even though they are long. It's a little bit of an endurance, but if you are a character reader and you really enjoy wonderfully built characters and really rich dynamics between characters and really interesting character arcs and character development, I think Robin Hobb is an author that you would really enjoy if you love those things. And yeah, I am on the edge of my seat. Big things, I can tell big things are gonna happen, and I'm a little nervous because I don't think anyone is safe And I don't think anyone is guaranteed to get what they want. And I I do think the villain is not going to get their victory. I don't think Robin Hobb would do that, but um, yeah, and this villain is such a villain. The villain in this trilogy is such a pure villain. Like nothing redeeming. It's not like a gray, sympathetic villain where you're like, well, I can see where they're coming from. No. No. Um, while I do think Robin Hobb shows that this villain is a product of the parents who raised him, and the things that he was taught and things instilled. I don't think this is a sympathetic gray villain where he's just misunderstood. No, 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 no. Pure, 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 evil, unredeemable, despicable villain. Absolutely no bright spots, no sympathy for this villain at all, which is, I kind of enjoy that. Just you love to hate him so much, just like, and I do really really hate this villain, and I want to see the villain's plan fail. Yes. I do. I really want to see how they're gonna snatch victory away from this villain. Anyway, but it will cost, because this is Robin Hobb, that victory will have a huge price. It will not be cheaply bought. It will not be an easy defeat. Nothing will come without a big price and pain for the characters involved. So yeah. And I finished a novella. I just had a few days left. I had thought I might read it at the end of April to like snatch one more magical readathon quest maybe, or finish one more prompt for a class, but I didn't get to it. But it only had a few days left in my Libby app. It was the audiobook from my library, and that file was gonna expire. And it was a novella, and the audio was only 4 hours. So I'm like, I can just do this real quick. I can take a break. I needed just a little lightheartedness from my Robin Hobb kind of binging. I've been just so into that book, but I needed to step away from it a little bit, take a little break, finish it before it ran out, like in 2 days. And like, but in 2 days I can do a 4-hour audiobook, no problem. And I did. The novella was the third novella in the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. And this one was Beneath the Candy Sky. And this was another one where we don't spend much time in the school for wayward children. A group of students from the Wayward Children actually go on a quest to help someone who arrived at the school through a doorway and needed help. I don't want to give the plot away. I don't want to tell too much. So the student arrives from one of the portal worlds, and it prompts several of the students to go on a quest. They visit a couple of other worlds, and try to help this person. And it was fun. It was neat to see some more of the portal worlds that we've heard some people chat about them, but we hadn't been there yet. And we also learn about a mermaid portal world. There are some like lake and ocean worlds, the drowned worlds, and one of the students that goes on the quest is when she was a mermaid when she was in the ocean world, and now she's back in our world, but she does not want to stay on dry land. She's desperate to get back to her ocean world and be a mermaid again, and she's an interesting character. And yeah, it was a good story. It was fun. I think I liked it less than the second novel or novella. I think from what I hear people say, this series can be really up and down for people, because the worlds, there's so many different kinds of portal worlds and a variety of characters, and I've heard a lot of people say that some of the books in this series they really, really like, and some they don't like as well. And that it depends on which characters are your favorite characters and which characters are featured in the novella that you're reading at the time, and also which kind of world you enjoy. And if they go to a world that isn't the kind of world that really appeals to you, you may not enjoy that novella as much. And I think I can see my experience is probably going to be similar. Some of these novellas I'm really going to love because they're going to be favorite characters, or it's going to be a world that is really exciting and fun for me. And some novellas are just going to be like pretty good, okay. This world was one of the like candy worlds. It's a nonsense world. Some of the worlds use logic and have a lot of rules, and there are a lot of worlds that don't have rules, or that have rules that don't really follow logic, kind of random rules, and that are like, unicorns and rainbows. And this one is a candy world, so it's like cotton candy and cakes and cookies and sugar and bright candy colors, rainbow, everything. And so it's a nonsense world. So that was the first nonsense world that I've read about in this series. So that was interesting to see what those worlds are like. And yeah, it was just fun and lighthearted, and a nice little adventure quest. It was a pretty good quest story, and fun to see where they went and how things are in a candy nonsense world. Um, and yeah, so it was fun. Okay, let's do the show and tell part. And I'll try and be a little bit chatty, but not go overboard on my rambling. I'll do my best, and we'll see how it goes. But like I said, over the last like 2.5 months, I have gotten some things from the bookstore. One thing is something I pre-ordered. Let's start with that. It arrived a few days ago, like 2 days ago, I think. And I have already started this book because I had a NetGalley arc. I already told you that I started this arc, Electra. And at the time, when I told you that I started Electra, I said, I'm starting this really early because I want to finish it, or have a chance, at least a good chance of finishing it before the readathon starts, and I get distracted, and then I don't read it, and then the NetGalley arc expires. Well, the NetGalley arc expired, and I tried a couple of different ways to like download it again. Nothing was working. It was just, I was not eligible to download it ever again. And I'm sure it's archived by now, because the book has come out. But once I figured out that I was not going to finagle a way to download the arc again, I'm like, well, I really was liking it. I didn't want to stop reading it. I just got like derailed by the readathon. So I'm like, I was really liking it. I know it's a really good book and I want to finish it. I really, really want to finish it. So I'm like, just pre-order it. Just pre-order it. So I did. I pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble. I got their like exclusive Barnes & Noble edition with a bonus scene at the very end. And here it is, Electra. Here is the US hardback cover. I love this orange. This is a very happy orange. I like the colors. And yesterday I found my place where I had read to and put my favorite bookmark in. And I reread a few parts here and there, just to kind of reorient myself to where I was in the story. And I love the prose. This prose is so beautiful. I'm really liking it, and I think Electra and her family, it's such an interesting drama, and very. I've always been intrigued by Electra's story and their family and their connection to the Trojan War. They were Agamemnon, her father, was the leader of the Greek side. So they were on the Greek side of that war. And I mean, well, Electra wasn't, but there was a lot of fallout and a lot of horrible drama in their family because of the war. And yeah. So we get 3 women's view that are tangentially involved around the Trojan War. We get Electra, Clytemnestra, who is Electra's mother, and they have a very interesting mother-daughter relationship. It's not a good one for many reasons. And then the third woman that we get, her point of view is from Troy. So she is in Troy under siege, and it is Cassandra. And Cassandra is a part of the royal family of Troy. But Cassandra is a really interesting character. She has the gift of prophecy given to her by Apollo, but it does not go well for her. Her prophecies are all of the downfall and destruction of Troy, and nobody wants to hear that. Nobody believes any of her prophecies, and they tell her to her face and tell her to be quiet, tell her to shut up, and she is compelled. She cannot hold these prophecies and visions in. She's compelled to tell, and nobody wants to hear it, and she's outcast for it. She is rejected, and yeah. So, and connected on a theme, I picked up an interesting little paperback a while ago when I was poking around the bookstore, and I had already started reading this. It was when I was in the beginning of starting the ARC version of Electra, and now I'll warn you, there's a swear word. There's a swear word in this title, so if you don't like that, you can look away. I'm gonna just not say it, but here we are. Things, I'm gonna say a different word. Things Cassandra saw. And I kind of hate this cover. I love the title, to be honest, even though there's a swear word. I love the title, but I hate this cover. It really is painful on the eyes. The colors. These colors are so neon and hurtful to look at. And I hate the cover, but honestly, I really like the title, and it is a collection of short stories by Gwen E. Kirby, feminist short stories. And I'm going to read the full title of the title story. The first story is the one that the book title comes from, but the full title of the story is longer, but I love it. So I will replace the swear words. But things Cassandra saw that she didn't tell the Trojans, because at that point, F them anyway. I love that title. Yeah. That she didn't tell the Trojans because at that point, F them anyway. And I can't blame her for having that attitude after the way that she was treated. So yeah, I can't. I think these are going to be really kind of fun and interesting feminist takes, and I expect there to be a little bit of humor in these stories because of the humor in the titles, humor to lighten up maybe um, some of the darkness of what these women are going through. Um, so that's those two. And then this I picked up because I picked it up early in April because I thought I might read it during the readathon. It would go for a prompt, but I ended up picking a different option for the same prompt. So I did not pick it up in April. But this I got at the comic book store. And I have read a few comics or graphic novels, and I'm really new to reading visual storytelling like comics or graphic novels, so I don't really understand the difference, and I don't understand when to call something a graphic novel and when to call something a comic. So I am not really sure which one this is, but this is a series called Monstrous that I have heard a lot about around the corners of BookTube that I watch. And look at this cover. It is really kind of gorgeous in a dark fantasy way. And this is a dark, I think it's a little bit sci-fi, a little bit fantasy. And the art really has like a Art Deco, Art Nouveau vibe. And it's just beautiful. And here, I'll show you. Here, look at this page. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that really, really beautiful? Um, so it's a dark sci-fi fantasy, um, and I am excited to read it. These two I picked up just over the weekend when I went on Saturday, just a couple days ago. And I wanted something kind of fun and a little more lighthearted, a little escapist. And I have been curious about trying manga. And I've been hearing some people talk about this manga series, and it just sounded kind of ridiculously over the top and like fun and actiony and ridiculous. And I think it might end up having kind of a found family trope, which is a trope that I love, like a chosen or brought together family. I love that trope. It's one of my top favorite tropes. I love a found family. I think this might turn into a little bit of that, but it is called Spy Family. This is the first volume of the manga series. And this man is a spy, and he needs to infiltrate and gather information about a certain other man who does not leave his house at all except to pick up his child from this like elite school. So to go undercover and start spying on that man, this guy needs a family so that he can have a child in that same school, and he can have a reason to be at the school pickup and be like another parent of the school, and um, start to talk to this guy and kind of do his spy thing. So he needs a family. And he, doesn't have one. So what do? He finds someone who will marry him. So he gets married, like a marriage of convenience sort of situation. Although maybe he pretends he's in love, I'm not sure. It might be part of his undercover to pretend that like it's actually a romantic marriage. But anyway, he finds someone who will marry him, and they do get married. He does not know. She has a reason why she needs a husband. And she needs a husband as cover because she is an assassin. That's her secret. And he obviously is not going to tell his new wife that he is a spy. No. So they both need this setup. They have their reasons. So the spy marries the assassin, so that they can have cover. And then, he needs a child to put in this elite school. So they adopt from somewhere, I have no idea. But they find a child to adopt, and this child ends up being a secret telepath. So guess who's going to know all of mom and dad's secrets? And that's going to get very interesting. It sounds like this is going to be really just crazy, over the top, action, escapist, fun, crazy situations, totally just out there, and funny. I expect there to be a lot of humor in this, just because the setup is so strangely funny, actually. I mean, it's so I'm excited to try my first manga. I got that on Saturday, and then they have a section for the newly arrived used books, and on that bookshelf I found a used hardcover of this short story collection by Ted Chiang that I've been wanting for so long. So long this has been on my wish list. And it was like, after tax, it was like $8 for this perfect condition. It doesn't look like it was ever read. If anybody read this when they had it, they were extremely gentle with it. It is in pristine condition, just as new, for $8. I'm so excited about this. I've been wanting to read these short stories for a really long time, and I've wanted to have a copy. And so that is my show and tell. Let's see. So I hope that you are doing well. I hope that wherever you are, you and your family and all your loved ones are safe and healthy. And I hope that you're reading, and the books that you're reading and any creative projects you have going are enjoyable and going well. And yeah, take care, and talk to you in the next video. Bye bye.